All right. Cheers, everybody. We are here thanks to the Press Club and Brown Bag Farm Goods and Seeds. Solventless Sessions here on Future Cannabis Project 2. Really excited for tonight. Big night. Exciting guest. We have BC Bubble Man on. I'm sure most of everybody already knows who he is. If not, we'll be giving a little recap of who he is. And I'm really stoked because on top of that, we have a huge giveaway. We got tons of seeds all right here from Good Man Brown Bag Seeds, Brown Bag Farm Goods. So we're going to be doing probably 2 giveaways since there's so many. We'll throw in some dab sponges and some rosin press bags from the Press Club. So yeah, big ups. Really exciting night.
Yeah, man. Stoked to be here.
Well, thanks, man. I'm glad I caught you. We almost didn't make it. So
it was close. I'm not gonna lie. I'm brutal when things don't have a calendar. Like if it doesn't populate my calendar, I just gotta. It's a weakness I have. I gotta figure out populating my own calendar. I'm like soft. I expect these emails that you just go okay, and if I don't get one of those emails, I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, Dragonfly or Earth Medicine, they just asked for one of those invites. So I need to start getting on top of that for sure and start just Google inviting everybody, all my guests.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful, especially in the stoner community, to have some sort of, it's like, oh yeah, what, the 20th? Yeah, I can be on your show on the 20th.
And it was like 3 weeks ago.
Dude, I said yes to multiple things on, funny enough, the 20th of this month. One is Heady Happenings, put on by Kyle LeGros. It's a great event here in Vancouver. Another one is my friend Mark's opening of his craft cannabis dispensary, federally legal store in Vancouver. And then it's also my son's first day of ski school. So I just found out the other day, I won't be taking my son to his first day of ski school. I have all of these other sort of events, and Kevin Jodfrey's flying up for this event here in Vancouver. He's going to be at my friend's opening of his store, and we're going to do a podcast there as well with London from, I can't even remember the name of his podcast thing now, but he's been doing one for a while as well. So just trying to keep relevant and keep, I hate to say no to people. I always like to be, to facilitate, and so it's easy, but I'll tell you, sometimes it completely bites me. Like 3 weeks later, I'm good to make like plans for a couple of days. When I make plans for 3 weeks in advance, I'm like, it pretty much surprises me the day of.
Well,
I will not lie.
I'm excited that I caught you before. This is you were kind of monumental in my hash making and getting into hash. And it was funny. I heard you the interview once. I think it might have been during Hash Church. I can't remember. I watch so many damn podcasts these days that they sometimes muddle together. But you were talking about like one of your most watched videos is one that you don't even really go by anymore. You know, how much stuff has changed in such a short amount of time. And,
totally.
And you were kind of
one of my most watched videos is flower rosin, is pressing flour into rosin. Like I haven't done that probably since that video.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, that's hilarious. What, you primarily smoke just bubble hash, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll smoke bubble hash, live hash rosin made from bubble hash, or dry sift. I'll smoke static sift. I generally love things that are high concentration of cannabinoids and volatile organic compounds. I have been smoking a little bit, since I created this product called Hash Hits. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of this product, Hash Hits. This is in the Washington market. Soon it'll be in the Missouri, in the Colorado, in the Michigan, in the Arizona, in the Nevada, and in the California markets. But right now it's sold in Washington. It's 5 little tubes. Each tube has my logo and my B on it, and it comes with a stainless steel bowl. And I basically put a 0.2 of a gram of hash in here, which is the equivalent of 1 gram of weed. So if you were going to smoke a whole gram of weed that was 20% THC, you could get rid of the weed, just put in 0.2 of a gram of hash, and it's the same thing. You're getting the same amount of hash. Instead of it being diluted, it's going to be pure. They're called hash hits. They're just little one hitters. People have their lighter. It's the only piece of paraphernalia they have. I wanted to kind of create a product, not necessarily for myself, although I do enjoy it, but to create a product that would build a bridge from the pre-roll joint market over to the hash and extract market. And so, you know, we do a sativa, an indica, and a hybrid. So there's the 3 versions, and these can be actually purchased in the Washington market today.
Well, that's pretty cool. So how do they go about, like, with the indica hybrid? Are they just like, all right, well, we're going to do a lot of some cushes over here, we're going to do more of the...
Yeah, it's just a way to create the packaging.
Collect.
Yeah, it's just a kind of an umbrella packaging. So really anything that's dominant in indica can go under the indica packaging. Anything that's dominant in sativa can go under the sativa packaging. And then anything that's sort of a hybrid between the two can go into the hybrid packaging. And it just allows us to sort of break those 3, you know, because generally those, you know, really what those are differences of volatile organic compounds. THC generally stays very much kind of, you know, between that 12 and 28%. It's there, but it's the volatile organic compounds. We see a lot of terpenoline when we run the sativas. We see a lot of myrcene dominant cultivars when we run indicas, and so we just sort of based it on that. I can't promise that every market in the U.S. that sells this product will go about it that same way as my partners did in Washington, but I thought it was cool, and you know, it's just another way to, you know, get products out there. There's two kind of products in the cannabis world. There's products that get you high, and there's products that get you stoned. Dabs get you high, you know, smoking weed and smoking hash gets you stoned. A lot of people that like getting stoned don't like getting high. It's just too much for them. It's kind of like getting strapped to a missile, and it's just too, you know, the rocket ship to the moon ride, which is generally what I get when I take a nice dab. I don't get that when I take a couple of, you know, and I used to be a bit of a, you know, I don't know, like a bit of a snob, you know, just trying to, you know, I get to this certain level and now I'm like, no, I won't smoke that. I won't smoke, really unwittingly cutting myself off from these nice experiences. And it wasn't until I started doing, you know, the design and the development of this product that I was like, well, I can't create a product that I'm not using. So I started like, where would I use this product, right? People ask me all the time, what's the best vaporizer? I'm like, well, the one that I have where I am is the best one, right? Like there's certain pens have a perfect place in an elevator or on the way up the mountain, and you know, and there's certain things that aren't conducive to dabbing. So I started using these when I was on the Whistler Mountain. I would use them when I was electric skateboarding around the city of Vancouver, around the seawall. They were just easy, pull them out, light them. I could keep going and smoke them while I was snowboarding or skating. I started giving them away to people and just, you know, hey, what do you think of these? You know, and that's really how that product kind of got popularized. So you'll see a lot more of it down in the US. Another unique thing is that no one's created a product like this in the world that I know of. So there's no other product that competes with this product. So when I enter a market with my brand, the Bubble Man brand, it's also a very nice thing to bring to the table, SKUs that nobody else in the market has. Who has that? Nobody. They're all just copying each other. Let's do a beverage. Let's do a gummy. Let's do a pre-roll joint. Yeah, you and every other fucking company on the planet. Do it. Do it up. I'm going to create novel products that nobody has. That's the mission.
I mean, I can see that being perfect. Like at work, you're a cook, you know what I mean? You're slammed. You don't have time to go roll a doobie or take a dab, right? So they're just ready to rock right back into the zone.
Each one gives you about 10 rips, and that's like guys like you and me smoking them, right? Like if it was a total noob, they would literally get like 20 to 30 rips out of that 0.2 of a gram of hash. We pack it pretty tight so that guys like you and I can't smoke it all in one rip. I tried smoking it in 2. I tried smoking it in 3. I never finished one of these in less than 7 hits. And generally I got 10 hits if I was just taking nice big pulls on the hash. So it's different the way cannabis affects you when you remove all the plant matter, you remove the glue, you remove the paper. These things are adulterants. They affect the quality and the caliber and the integrity of your high, but they certainly don't offer anything to it. It's just a reduction. It's not an increase when you smoke a bunch of paper and glue and plant matter that doesn't get you high. So that was kind of, that, and the fact that I understand that guys like you and me are the anomaly. Maybe one day we'll be a big group. I don't know, but I know right now we're probably less than 1% of the cannabis industry and community. So we are a very small number. We should recognize that. So when you're in cannabis to make money, to move the whole industry forward and to actually pay your bills, that's what I mean by making money. You're going to want to make sure that you can sell products that do that, because if you try to create podium only products that are high end and high costs, and then you get wrapped up in regulations and taxes and all of these other things, it can become very, very, very difficult to make a product. So podiums are great. I love my podium wins, and I want to have that podium hash that people can purchase on all the markets that I'm in. But I know those won't be the people that keep my company alive. Unfortunately, it'll be people who buy a more middle of the road product, some 35% hash, maybe some hash joints. I do some pure hash joints as well, similar to the Pixie Sticks in California in the late 90s. They're just pure hash tubes, no flour, no paper, no glue, just a hash roll twisted into a perfect joint, 1 gram. And I did a YouTube video of me smoking one of those one time, and that video got 4.7 million views before YouTube took it down.
Sheesh. I've been hearing about
those,
the hash rolls. Those are supposed to be pretty nifty.
Yeah, there's a lot of people do them as wraps, so they don't know how to do them, so they burn only as hash. That's really a little bit more complicated. There's very few people who have figured that out over the years, and making a big wrap that's a cone and stuffing it with weed and hash and all this stuff, awesome, another great product. But what we do is we sell a hash joint that doesn't have anything in it at all. The joint is just hash.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's quite unique, right?
Yeah, no, that's really cool.
That's one of them burning right there.
That's beautiful. That's art. That's hash art.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Just a perfect little hash joint. That's and burns just perfectly, burns with this beautiful blue smoke. When we first make it in the lab, it looks so melty and so crazy. It looks like, how are you going to smoke that?
Yeah.
And then we cure them out, so they kind of like turn in on themselves and shrink a little bit. And you can't make them too potent, or they'll just melt into a liquid. The hash needs to burn through and through.
That's amazing. That really is.
Yeah, man.
Well, talk about, you're coming all over. It seems like you got what's up with the spot in Arizona? I've been catching whiffs and stuff about. You want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, AZ Melt is our company down in Arizona. We're working with a bigger company called Sonoran Roots in Arizona. They've got a beautiful big grow that we can, like with a screen in our lab, we can order fresh frozen from them, and it just shows up beautiful in dry ice, all sealed in packs. We've got a great team down there led by our guy, Chris. My partner, Dave Auger, who also is part of Big League Genetics, is a big part of the company. Another partner, Rodney, who was hugely involved in the Arizona market, one of the first guys to own stores and sell stores and really sort of make some big, serious moves. And we're just really excited. We got our equipment operational. We got our guys trained. We're starting to make some really nice product, both in the bubble hash and live hash rosin space. Hopefully we'll be releasing some static sift in the near future as well. So yeah, we've been doing this for about 4 or 5 months in Arizona. It's just sort of been kicking off, getting the lab built, getting all the partners organized, and figuring out where they want to, do their thing. And I'm hoping that Arizona will sign with me and my brand, because the Bubbleman brand is not currently with Arizona Melt, but they are the group in Arizona that I do want to do my deal with. I do have other groups in Arizona who have been reaching out to me, but I'm an equity holder in this company. They've been nothing but amazing, great partners. So of course, first right of refusal will be for them. And I'm hoping in the next month or two to figure out whether or not they will sign the Bubbleman brand. And if they do, a lot of the products that you see, that you've seen me posting, will end up going under the brand. So pretty excited about that one for sure.
Crazy from 10 years ago, huh?
Yeah.
Is it wild
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
your stuff out there? Like you go see like your branded bee and you're like, oh, right. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty neat. I mean, I first tried this in California with Tony there from Blue River, and it worked out in the sense that I really helped build the Blue River brand, and he was doing incredible R&D for his brand while really operating my brand. But unfortunately, the attention never got put onto my brand, so it kind of petered out in Cali. His brand went on to do some great things. Well, that's now what I'm focused on for my own brand, to make sure that who I do partner up understands that the brand will be the focus. I don't want to use my brand to build any other brands immediately. I really want to get my brand into these states and really put that energy behind my brand, because one of the things my brand has that really almost no other brands have is that I've been doing this for 25 years. I showed most of these people how to make hash, how to clean hash, how to dry hash, how to dab hash, all of these different things I've been doing for the last 25 plus years. It creates this sort of legacy style brand. Even though I wasn't breaking any laws, I was selling legal products and really just sharing education and information. And to have that reach to a point now where I could suddenly be involved in 7 or 8 states, be involved up here in Canada, have companies from Australia and Thailand and Switzerland reaching out to find out about the brand, it's just kind of a dream come true. And I'm just looking forward to making sure that I can have all the SKUs prepared for each marketplace. And not only do I don't want to keep them all isolated and separate. I really want to keep an entity that all of my brand deals, regardless of the state or the country that you're in, we can all kind of come together and share our wins and losses with each other, so that other companies can gain from something that maybe one company figured out that's really effective, really money saving, really, getting a better product out onto the market. Those are the things I want to grab from the whole group, share with the whole group, and just tighten everything up to the point where, where we're all doing great in our markets by sharing, but still maintaining our uniqueness, because each market is quite unique.
Yeah, it's pretty cool watching the fads, how something from California makes its way over, and vice versa. They're on the gas
Totally.
kick while somebody else is on the fruit kick, and then it just swaps up.
Yep.
Before I get too far off track, I heard you talking about kind of the effect. And something I've been hearing a lot about, and something I definitely noticed is, I definitely use it as a medicine. Of course, I like it, the recreational benefits of it, but I feel like a lot of rosin compared to like melt, right, or bubble hash, you're kind of losing a little bit of that medicinal effect, that kind of full-bodied stone, you might say. So me myself, I'm concentrating in going and making melt, air dried melt, and I'm really kind of digging the whole static tech scene right now. And let's see, the 22nd, I have Sambo Creek Filtration coming on with Wolverine Dabs. They're going to be doing a static tech episode, so that'll be really fun.
Yeah, I'm
But
a
yeah,
distributor for that product. I know Logan well.
hell yeah.
I
We're
mean,
trying to.
static, right? This is a process that I learned about 15, well, maybe 12 years ago now, maybe a little bit more, and was asked not to share it immediately, but slowly started releasing little things, and Tan Hat and Wolverine Dabs and a few others sort of really kind of grabbed onto it, and they've all done really great jobs. Sample filtration. I've got a machine coming this month to my lab, so I'm super excited to give it a shot and see what it's all about. From someone who's been playing with static for almost a decade and a half.
Oh yeah. Well, while you're taking this rip real quick, I'll go ahead and get the giveaway tool screen up. We'll go ahead and start the first giveaway. It's going to do half these packs, so we'll do like seven packs, and we'll do a bag of the press club bags. We'll do the dab sponge and the rosin press timer. Let's see. We got acid milk, which is Trainwreck crossed to Durban Poison, and then that's crossed to his lab, which is his lab is Mother's Milk, the Bodie cut, and then that's crossed to Triangle Market. And so this is all from Brown Bag Seeds. Shout out to him, good person, good guy. This is Death Star Dairy. That one's really unique. It's going to be the Sour Diesel crossed to Cincy Star, the F2, and then that's crossed to his lab. We have the Pup Cup. This one sounds really nice. I love Dog Walker OG. It's a Dog Walker OG cross to the lab. We got the GG4 cross to the lab. That's a Grover. You know, that's going to be a nice one. And then we also have the Melty Melons. That's his Taiki cross to the lab. So
I got a question.
Yeah.
So is this on your YouTube? Is that how how will you figure out your winners? People chatting in the chat of your YouTube?
Yep. So StreamYard has a giveaway tool right here. Boom. We can put a hashtag. You want to come up with a hashtag? What do you want?
Will this go to the people that are in my chat as well as yours? Because otherwise I'll send them to your page. That's what they're at. There's 120 people in my room right now watching.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know, because I'm on StreamYard too. This might add both of our people. You can gladly start it.
How about, have you ever done a giveaway with the giveaway tool on StreamYard?
Not on StreamYard, but I've used different giveaway tools. What I do with Grandmaster LEDs is he does it. It's from his YouTube channel. It's not the StreamYard one. It's a little bit different, but it basically, anyone that's in the YouTube chat that types a word is entered into the giveaway. And that's how it works. So, you know what, just set this up and we'll see how it goes. If it's a matter of sending them to your YouTube, I can do that, no problem. And maybe they'll just be entered. So I know a lot of the names in my room. I'll see if they get, once you start collecting comments, we'll see if any from my chat come, or if it's just, because it's done through StreamYard and we're both through StreamYard right now, you know, pushing to YouTube.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, if we can't get them over there, we can definitely get them over to here and try to get it done. You want to pick a hashtag? What do you want everybody to say?
Oh, geez. What do I want everyone to say? Hashtag bubble hash.
Bubble hash. That's what I'm talking about. And what did you just take a rip of?
I just took a rip of some, fuck, if I can't even remember what the fuck it was. It was some cushy, it was from a good buddy of mine, Dan. Really nice stuff. I've had it in my fridge forever.
Ooh, nice.
Like it was literally in my fridge for like the last 6 to 8 months.
That looks great.
Kind of forgot about it. Had a bunch of grams in there and was like, started pulling one out. So yeah, these guys are now, will it show us their names, or it'll just say the entries?
Yeah, it'll just say the entries. But anybody who's put it, yeah. Let's see. We got.
How many people do you have in your chat room?
185.
Okay, so between the two of us, we have about 300.
Yes, sir. If anybody over there in Bubble Man's chat, if you guys want to participate, just open up another window. You don't have to get out of his show or anything like that. Just open up another window and you can
YouTube / what's your YouTube?
Future Cannabis Project 2. So it's FCP02. FCP02. Future Cannabis.
Cannabis Project. FCP2 or O2?
O2.
Okay. Let's see if that.
Wait.
No, that didn't work either.
Oh, hold on. Boom. We're on the second one. We'll get it together one of these days. I promise you guys. Switch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, FCP02. Or FCP2. How about that? Without the O, with 0. Try FCP2. Maybe that.
I mean, ideally, I'll go on it. People, I have to copy and paste it. That's what I have to do. So FCP02 YouTube channel. Once I find that, FCP02, there we go.
Boom.
Looks like you guys. Yep. Subscribers, 11,000 subscribers. Is that? Yep, there it is right there. So I'll just click that.
We're kind of trying to make the second channel. So we got 3 channels. The second one, we're kind of trying to move towards more of the hash stuff, you know.
Okay.
Well, no, you know,
never a bad idea, considering every single person I know that loves to smoke cannabis, whether they are of the understanding or not, it's the hash that they like to smoke on the cannabis. Some prefer diluted, some prefer concentrated. But regardless, it is the hash that brings us all together. The whole reason you would wear a pot leaf on your pin, the whole reason you are a smoker and that you love getting high, it's the hash.
It's a hash. That's what I'm
It's
talking.
the hash.
So when was what's been your favorite? All right, we just ended a year. We're in a new year. What was your favorite of last year, hash wise? Do you have one that just stood out among everything else? I mean, I know there's so
Well,
much and they're
listen, I had so many
convoluted.
beautiful ones. I had some really nice flavors that I smoked with Terry from Hash and Flowers. So he had like honey bananas, and he had these Skittles crosses, and he had like, oh, Dragonfly Earth Medicine at the start of the year had really nice strawberry guava. That was like super, super sweet and special. Tropicana Nana from Terry as well was really special. Frankie's Incense Haze from my buddy Dan, who made this stuff as well. Who also actually makes the Banger Dryer. I should give him a shout out. Go check out Banger Dryer. It's this cool little 3D printed
Those
dryer.
are badass.
Yeah. You just put your banger basically on this thing. It's got a little fan on the inside. It plugs in through a USB. So you can plug it into a wall or a computer or whatever. And it basically, like when you dunk your banger in alcohol, this dries it off. This like blows warm air throughout the banger and just like removes all of that alcohol. So it's long gone. Kind of a cool little thing. You can check them out on Instagram at Banger Dryer, all lowercase.
Yeah, I just saw those the other day and I thought they were pretty cool. I'm actually smoking on some of that honey banana Wilson right now from Lobster Family Farm. He's a big contributor and content creator over here on Future Canvas Project and Mission Hill Melts. I don't know if you ever heard of them. They're up in Maine.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
processed it for him. So yeah, stellar product. Really happy
Oh
with
yeah,
the way it came
love
out.
those guys. Yeah, they're doing great things. I try to keep my finger on the pulse when it comes to what I call bubble ambassadors. And I always shout the people out. Look, I know that our bags are a little more expensive than some of the bags out there, but no one is pushing hash education like Fresh Headies and Bubble Bags and Bubble Man. Yes, there's a lot of other companies that have copied us and copied the colors and copied the screen sizes and reduced the costs by making them very inexpensive. And there's all sorts of crap you can buy on Amazon. But if you're looking to support the OGs, if you're appreciative of all the free education and information that we've given away over the course of the last 25 years, we certainly appreciate the support. Bubblebag.com. We've got the labs, the lights, the OGs. They're all there. They're all available, and a lot of our bags come with lifetime warranties, so you don't have to really buy them more than once, maybe twice if you're really pushing it.
Well, that's good. I mean, if you got to replace them, that just means you're pushing through enough material. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, that's it. You have to be pushing a lot of material if you're replacing your bubble bags, man. It's usually people that are like, dude, I made like 25 kilos with these bags and now I'm replacing them. I thought they were warranted for life. I'm like, well, yeah, or 25 kilos of hash. Like that should be enough.
Yeah, right. That's funny. Well, all right. Well, what's your favorite size to process? Do you have like a favorite size batch? Do you like doing the 5 gallons for personal, or like are you like getting in on the biggest?
Sorry to cut you off. I should wait
Fun.
for you to finish your sentences. But when I was younger, I thought, I mix for 10 minutes, let's settle, pull the bags. As I become more of a commercial processor, I learn a couple of things. And you'll hear people say, oh, if you make too big of a batch, your quality will go down. Okay, first of all, quality is not something the hash maker controls. Quality is produced by the genetics and the grower. The hash maker unveils. We unveil what is there. And if quality is there, that's what we'll unveil, right? We unveil the flame if the flame is present. If it's not present, you get people saying, hey, Bubble Man, how do I get my hash to like melt and stick together like yours? Mine's kind of sandy and it's just falling apart. What's the problem? I'm like, oh, that weed is shitty. That is the problem. There's no real way around it. And I've told this to people a million times. And the people that seem to gravitate towards my level of education and what I've been doing for the last 20 plus years are the people who choose the hard, long path. because when you get to the point where you've taken your weed for the first time and you've either, you know, put it into some bags and washed it off, you get this sandy hash. It's not inspirational. It smells kind of funky. You're like, fuck, like this isn't good. What do I do? Well, there's two paths. You can take this very long and arduous path, which is learning about cannabis, learning about the growing of cannabis, learning about the symbiotic relationships between mycorrhizospheres and living soils and bacteria and how plants sequester things from the soil and all of these intense things. Or back in the day, you could just go, I'm just going to blast it, and then blast it through a PVC pipe with some butane, and you get a gold honey oil. And you basically think, holy fuck, I just made pretty much the nicest hash in the world. And it would be strong. It might not have a very good taste. And, you know, it would take a few years down the road before real oil people emerged to say that's actually bunk. And this is how you make great hash. You actually make top quality bubble hash that does melt, and then you take that and blast it into BHO. You know, those guys started showing up. They weren't there initially. It was very just like sketch and like, let's just, not to mention people were blowing up. So this was another sort of negative aspect of the BHO, especially because a lot of them were like younger people. And when you blow up with BHO, unfortunately, you mark yourself for life. You can scar yourself, you can burn your face, and you can, you know, damage yourself and damage others. So that didn't change when rosin came out. You know, I used to think, oh, people are just taking the cop-out route, the BHO route, which of course is a route of its own to produce incredibly high quality medicine. I wouldn't deny that. It doesn't have to be a route for, you know, morons that failed grade 10 chemistry thinking that they could blast BHO next to a wall outlet with a plug in it, right? This is fucking crazy. But rosin was the same thing. Instead of people taking that pathway, here's a crazy fact for you. Most of the rosin that you see out there, even the fairly nice stuff, is made from like lower grade bubble. And I don't mean lowest grade. I just mean it's not, most people are not making this shit with 6-star bubble. It makes no sense. If you have 6-star bubble, you have an incredible product. There's no reason for you to do anything with it. It melts into a liquid, it dabs, it cleans off a banger super easy. You did it. Your holy grail, whether it was dry sifted or wet washed, you got there. Rosin, on the other hand, became a thing that people would do because we always figure out the shortcuts. Well, what can I do with my bubble that doesn't melt? How can I make it dabbable? And so that's what I would say 90% of people who make rosin are making rosin with. So they're making, you know, there's a reason why the guy who gives you the nice rosin doesn't show you the piece of hash that he made it from. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes
like to me, rosin should come. I would love to buy rosin where I got a gram of rosin, I got a gram of the melt, and I got a gram of the flour. And it's just in a triple jar thing with like little dividers where it's like, this is the flour. You can smell it, you can break it up, you can be like, oh, okay, like that's what the flour smells like. This is what the hash smelled like, extracted or isolated from the flour. Okay, yeah, gummy, super nice, full, you know, melty, 5 to 6 star. This is what the rosin tastes and smells and looks like. And then, you know, to me, that's sort of the ultimate experience from an extract artist's and growers' work, to be able to showcase them all together and show you. But most of the time, people do not show you the hash that went into making their rosin.
Well, when it comes down to it, I think like a lot of these people aren't processing their own genetics, and they might not even be growing at the end of it all. And not saying you have to be a good processor by any means, you know what I mean? But it does add another element to it, right? You're carrying from this from its conception all the way down to its end, and I think that really does play a part in it. And then once you kind of start breeding for your own hash, like what do you like? You know what I mean? And you're able to start playing with these genes a little bit. I think that's where it really starts getting exciting again. And with the melt, like you said, that's kind of the end goal. Like that's where I'm hunting at least, right? Like what's giving me melt? Okay, it might not. Let's see how it is in the rosin form. But I think it's definitely an art form. I've seen a lot of people always say, you know, hash art, and it's the truth. You know, it is definitely an art.
Yeah. Well, my shout out goes to the growers from an art perspective, because a bubble hash, you know, what we do, we can do in an afternoon. There's very few variables. They can be controlled. Most of it is like a recipe. The real art of bubble is in drying it. How do you dry your bubble? How well do you preserve the volatile organic compounds? How well do you extract the moisture that's trapped not only in the resin, but in the wax membrane that wraps and encoats the resin? So these become, because everything else, like I showed my mom, who worked for the police for 35 years, was the straightest person ever. I watched her make full melt, her first batch ever. All I did was like, here's some bags, here's some material, here's a cake mixer. So it was a cake mixer, 2 little prongs cake mixer, and she made what we called Polly's melt. Like my mom's name is Paulette, so we called it Polly's melt, and it was full melt 6-star bubble. It didn't hurt that I was standing next to her and showing her what to do, and I also got her the plant matter to run. So to me, like guys like me, guys like Nicotine, Matt Rise was kind of on that list. What we had this ability to hone in on quality, whether it was our olfactory, whatever it was about us, we had this ability to hone in on the uber quality. At that point in time, everything we did after that, was kind of secondary, like guys like Subcool were the reason Matt Rise was a rock star. Without Sub's material, Matt wouldn't have had what he was making. And I'd always sort of say that, like, yes, listen, you guys are good at what you do and all, but I could teach a monkey to do this. I really could. I hate to burst any egos or whatnot, but I could teach a monkey to do this. But I can't teach a monkey to grow great weed. There's too many variables. It's too long. It's 3 months of variables. And there's so many different things that can go wrong. And there's so many different factors at play, including the terroir, if you're growing outdoors, the Appalachia, the breakdown of the environment that you're in and how it affects the overall expression of these compounds. It's incredibly complicated, and my hat's always off to the growers and to the breeders, because we as hash makers are really nothing without you.
Yeah, I love it. It becomes your lifestyle. You have your hash lifestyle, but the plants they come up before everything pretty much. But I'm going to go ahead and hit this giveaway before we make anybody else wait. We got 100 entries. I think that's perfect. Let's go ahead and hit draw. It's hashtag bubble hash. Let's get a winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Winner, hash seeds dinner. Skunk Cake Glassworks. That's so awesome. That's crazy. I just went and visited him for Christmas. He lives down in Alabama where my family lives. And let's see, I'll go ahead and show you the marbles and stuff I got down there.
Oh, yeah, nice. Beauty. Well,
yeah,
3-dimensional action.
Beautiful. Let's see. Got a beautiful vortex.
Oh, wow.
Nice wig wag.
Wiggity wag.
Gotta love the wig. I love wig wags.
Yeah, you do. You do.
For sure.
I don't think I have many marbles. Just this one.
Oh, I'll have to get you back on the screen. Yeah.
I'll show you the marble I got. I was looking for a couple of small ones. I do have a big marble collection, but I got this one back in 2002 from Gates and Recco.
Okay.
And this is one of his universe marbles.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, that's freaking cool. Hold on the big screen, yeah. Oh, yeah. I could eat a dose and get lost in that, huh?
Dude, he's got fucking planets in there, bro.
Oh, that's crazy. Now I'm seeing them. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's
dude,
really
he's a
cool.
fucking maniac, dude. Look at that.
That is gnarly. Who is that? Art and Greco?
Gateson Recco.
Gates.
One of the old school, yeah. Gateson Recco, Recko. Check him out on Instagram. Gateson's a good dude. He's always pushing boundaries, and yeah, I just knew this was a banger back like over 20 years. I got this. I bought it from my own gallery during a show I was putting on with Marble Slinger called Degenerate Art.
Oh yes, that's a huge, beautiful movie on the glass scene. So.
He did a documentary called Degenerate Art, named after the show that we did together. It's funny because I was such a big part of all of that, but Marble Slinger and I had a fight right as he started doing that documentary. So I'm not mentioned in it at all, nor is the Degenerate Art show that we did at my gallery, which was sort of the birth of the documentary. And, you know, the whole show was, it was all really Slinger. He was the connection to all the glass blowers. He was curating them. All I really did was, you know, offer the space and be like, yeah, I want to do this as well. So it was certainly, okay, we're good friends still. We've you know, kind of linked back up, and I have a huge appreciation for his art. And I just sometimes look at things like that, and like that amazing documentary that he did, and I think, geez, you know, I just chose one time to kind of get mad. It's always been like this in my life. I'll choose a certain time, and then it'll really affect me in a big way. Like I'll either have some nightmare that goes on for years, or I'll miss out on something huge. It's always been the way my lessons have manifested themselves. And that was a big one because, I mean, you can go on my YouTube channel and you can punch in Degenerate Art and you'll see actual footage with my friend Hillary Black interviewing all of the glass blowers that were there, including Slinger, at my gallery. And that was the show that we called Degenerate Art. And that was 2003, I want to say.
That's wild. Wow.
Yeah.
Small world. But you know, it's a small world that, like you said, makes we get even smaller in these niche communities that we get in. You know, like you were talking about, okay, yeah, the hash niche. Now, okay, now we got the solventless, right? And now we got what people who are only into melt. You know, so it can keep on going smaller, and it just depends where you're putting your energy. You know what I mean? And there's room for everybody. Like, you just have to put the time in.
God made enough for everyone.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really enjoying this honey banana. Or this, honey banana Wilson.
Love the honey bananas, dude. I got the clones coming right away. I've still got the jar sitting right next to me here.
Nice.
But it's pretty much toast, and the last thing I put in it were some diamonds from my friend Caitlin. So I just have diamond dust and honey banana dust.
Decent.
Oh, smells great.
I got all sorts of testers going on right now that are about to come down, so it'll be exciting to see what they do. I want to get one of those resin dials. That's nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is some rosin that we made for the Canadian market. It's organically grown. It was Apple Jacks crossed with Northern Lights, and then we pressed it into some live hash rosin.
Nice. You don't hear too much of the Northern Lights out there these days.
No, it's old school. You got to know some old guys to get to get into that.
We got this testers from Bloom Seed Co. He hit his straw guava with the Bolo Runts. That'll might be nice. We'll see what's happening there. Some Mean Gene Mendocino testers, that Black Affy headband.
Oh yeah, can't go wrong with Gene.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Sticky Richie, one of the guys from Future Cannabis Project family, he took down, I can't remember who bred it, I'm sorry, but it was a headband bubble gum that turned in some phenomenal hash. Phenomenal. So he's got a lot more to wash. I'm excited.
There's so many special things. People ask me all the time, what's your favorite? What's your favorite? And I'm like, really? Like at this point in time, my favorite is the one that was grown the best. The one that was just given so much attention that it was just grown to absolute and complete perfection. That's my favorite. That's what I want. I don't care if it's gassy, if it's fruity, if it's, you know, hazy, if it's baby farts and puke, like cat piss, like whatever. I don't care. Just make it be the best version of that ever. And then I have an appreciation for it. And there's not as much of that out there in the world, you know. There's less. It's hard to do perfect. It's hard to grow perfectly. It's you know, you wouldn't think it is when you meet a guy like Skunkman Sam and he becomes your mentor, and then you see him doing it in greenhouses, and he's just got like 55-gallon buckets full of ground weed that you can just be like, hey, you want to make some dry sips? It's like, yeah, let's make some dry sips. Boom, 7 kilos in like 4 minutes. Oh, okay, let's clean this up. And he goes into a room secretly and cleans it up and comes out with pure fucking heads that melt into a liquid and literally destroy you. That's how strong they are. Destroy you. I've never smoked anything stronger.
These are the things dreams are made of. You know, a lot of us have heard these kind of stories from people like you know what I mean, in the lunchroom hallways and stuff, you know, so.
I wouldn't have believed it. I hear people, oh, it was so strong. It's like, how strong could it be? I'm smoking 70% all day long, full melt, morning, noon till night. How strong can it be? The first hit I ever took of his hash in his living room, a rush came over me unlike anything I've ever experienced. And then I started putting it together. This man traveled to the hash producing countries in the world and lived there and collected seeds, took those seeds home, bred those seeds. And I'm not talking about popping a 10-pack. I'm talking about planting 100,000 fucking seeds to find 4 or 5 parental stock that he will spend the next 5 years breeding these unbelievable cultivars into the world that legitimately didn't exist prior to him doing that. And then also being able to isolate the glands with no water, with just this secret process that nobody knew about for like 25 years. It was just all too much for my brain to contain.
I love it. That's phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm doing it, right? Like, I don't know. It's just those are you know, kind of milestones and things you kind of set like up there, like, all right, hell yeah, I gotta try to get there, right? Like, nobody can actually ever get there, but we all have our own journey, you know, and we all find our own self-worth in it. I feel like at the end of it all, that's why a lot of us are in this. You know, we didn't have whatever through life, but we had cannabis, and then that led us to hash, you know, and
yeah. Nice. It's good. It's a wonderful journey, and it keeps going. Who'd have thought? I mean, it was only 7 years ago that we discovered rosin. Who's to say we won't discover something unbelievable and incredible again in the near future? In fact, shout out to Grandmaster LED, because, man, since discovering this company and the production of these LEDs that he's got going, he's got this other thing that I can't even talk about publicly yet, but it's like a great big disruptor for insects like spider mites, aphids, and thrips. Yeah. So, I mean, I've seen it with my own eyes. I watched the whole experiment go down. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen an infestation of bugs get taken care of faster. I've never seen an infestation of bugs get taken care of without a nuclear bomb. This crop got cut down. We made 5 to 6 star bubble hash out of it. The yield wasn't affected. So say goodbye to crop loss. Say goodbye to the devastation of insect colonies devastating your production. It also affects and destroys mildews, powdery mildews. It's really quite something. And so I've got a couple of tents going here. I'm just about to get them actually going. I've got some ice cream cake clones I got from Flav 421. I ordered some Death Bubba and a few other things. I got that honey bananas coming. And so I've got 2 of his tarantula boards. These fucking lights, dude, are insane. Have you ever been in front of a tent and had someone just turn one on? Because every single time, no matter who it is, it could be a grower of 50 years, and they'll go, holy shit. Like, it's so fucking bright, dude. He's got 5,600 diodes. He uses all of the highest bin, all of the highest quality. He cuts no corners. It's like, yeah.
What size tent does it go in? A 4x8?
I've got it in a 5x5 right now.
5x5, okay.
Except like a 5. He also does have a tarantula, a tent that's actually 4x4 that fits tents like perfect. But this 5x5 is perfect in my, this tarantula board is perfect in my tent. It's super bright. I mean, when I put the clones in there, he was like, you have to turn off. First of all, it comes with 4 drivers, and it drives everything independently from all the different, from your red lights to your cool lights they're all on different channels. So you can play around. There's over 500 spectrums that are available in the light, and it comes preset with 60 spectrums that are basically all of the LED lights that are on the market. You just preset their spectrums into the light, but you can create, like, you could grow where, okay, so for instance, not all of us know this, but red light has a couple of different features. One of the things that red light can do is it can put your plants to bed. So at the end of the night, when you see the sun goes down, you get the magic hour. If you get your little light meter out, that's that far red nano 730 nanometer red light. That puts the plants to bed. It allows them to start doing everything they need to do to grow throughout their night cycle so that they can get ready and wake up again the next day. So more than a couple Grandmaster customers have been using the red light at night to turn their plants to go to bed. And instead of their plants taking like an hour and 45 minutes, these guys are putting their plants to bed in 15 to 20. Well, that's like an hour saved every night. And if you do that for 3 months, we were telling people 3 to 5 days you could cut down earlier. We had a guy who was saying like 7 to 10 days we also had a guy who had the little, what the hell are they called? The little root gnats where the little flies are just, he said he had them forever. The minute he started using this new product that we hooked them up with, they just disappeared. And so anyone that wants to hear more about it, it's coming out January 24th. You can check Grandmaster LED's website, and you can hit me up at bcbubbleman at gmlarmy.com. And I can give you a little bit of a breakdown on it. But on the 24th of this month, they're releasing, and he'll have the information on it. We've just been a little bit secretive because it's going to be the most copied fucking thing ever. And we just wanted to give ourselves a little bit of an advantage in the release of it. Oh yeah, Osprams for sure, Grizzly Grows. What's that?
I said, if you can knock all that out of the park right there, I mean, people.
I'm all about like preserving the plants, preserving the plants, but also anything that we can use to manipulate the production of resin. I'm less worried about the weight of plant matter. I don't care about that.
Right.
I care about the resin and the resin production. And there are things that you can do to manipulate the plant that will produce more resin. And that's what a lot of cannabis breeding has been about for the last 30 to 50 years, has been about getting those cannabinoids up for a long time. And now lately, it's really been about preserving the volatile organic compounds, getting as high as possible within the safety realms, because who knows at what percentage these volatile organic compounds become unsafe to inhale or volatilized into your lungs.
Yeah, absolutely. You got some that'll eat tops of jars or whatever, so it's definitely something to think about as we go into that. That's for sure. I think it's pretty cool that you got involved with GML. He's been a big shaker and mover the last couple years with the lighting. I'm glad he's coming out with his IPM thing. That's fantastic. I think we all need that. And I've been hearing nothing but good things about these tarantulas and all his other lights, really. But these tarantulas are supposed to be something else. So everybody should definitely go check that out.
Yeah, they're unbelievable, let's go ahead dude.
And get this second giveaway going again. Let's see. Do you have another hashtag you want to?
Hashtag static tech.
Oh, I like it. So when did you first start messing around static?
Geez, I should know this because one day Sam just decided to show me, and it was surreal because I've been at his house so many times. I'd watched him leave the room with dirty, nasty sift and come back with pure heads. I had no idea what he was doing. It was completely mind-bending, and eventually he just kind of one day was like, I want to show you something. And he brought me into the room, and he had his thing set up, and I was just like, even his wife was like, oh my God, are you showing him? Like, this man did not show anyone this process for a very, very, very long time. And he took a lot of flack for it because, the cannabis industry wants him to give everything to them so that they can monetize it and make their businesses. But the bottom line is that was not Sam's responsibility. He was a cannabis warrior. He had a passion and a love for cannabis. Of course, he didn't want these things to, he didn't want to take these things to the grave. But I don't know a man who has been more jacked in the cannabis world than Skunkman Sam. So I was happy to, keep it quiet for while he asked. And then as slowly as people started kind of, figuring it out from the videos I was sharing and the things that I was saying, He finally was just like, you can tell people, and I was able to do a video and start sharing the process. So it's, listen, it's another one of those things. The reason I knew it wasn't going to catch on like wildfire is that most people have mediocre weed, and static test doesn't work great with mediocre weed. It only shines with great weed. So once again, Logan, Wolverine Dabs, the reason he's able to shine right now is because he has good material, great material. You see some of his glove pictures that are just coated in white resin. Very few resins react that way. I used to make it for the Great Gardener. I made him a lot of static sift over the years, which he won contests with. He had great resin. He didn't make great hash, but I was able to clean it and unveil that he had done a great job growing it. And that barb in particular with that shishka berry genetics in it was a really special cut. And so, yeah, you just got to, you really got to look to find the value in statically sifting heads. And I think I'll be able to do that for sample filtration, because I don't think I'll go about it the way most people are going to go about it, because they don't understand that unless you're putting the best material in there, you're not really, going to get out what you think you're going to get out. I think everyone thinks, oh yeah, I'll just put a kilo of bunk in there and get like 400 grams. It's like, you might get 10 grams if you put a kilo of bunk in there. The percentage will be very small. You'll be very surprised. But there are cultivars. Once we have machines like this, we can start growing and breeding for machines like this. And there will be cultivars that you can put into these machines that come out absolutely stunning. I think that another process that, or another way that I see a value for the sample filtration static tech unit is in GMP labs that don't want water. They don't want drains. They don't want water. And if they don't want water or drains, this machine will do the job, make 4 or 5 kilos of pure heads for them a day. And it's not an impossibility to make that happen.
I'm excited to see what people are going to start putting out with this tech. I think it's phenomenal, and it's pretty exciting. For anybody who doesn't know, everybody go look up Sambo Creek Filtration. He's using electricity to positively and negatively charge the particles, the trichomes, and so the stalks and all the plant particulate are all going to go to one side, and all your heads are going to the other side. Into a nice, easy collection system. I think it's fantastic, and it's going to give some people some great ways to make some good medicine. But like you said, it is the quality going into these things, and that's why a lot of times people will be like, well, why can't I make it like this? Why is mine not turning out like that? And then you start going through their kind of day-to-day practices, right? Or how they're acting in the garden, how their garden is, what's going in their garden. And then you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Are you ready for a 20-year journey?
Yeah.
No, I'll just blast a BHO.
Right. Yeah. BH, no. But yeah, it's I saw you over on Variables. Shout out to the Variables crew. I enjoy the podcast. Yeah, Pedro's, he's good people. For Growly, he was there back when I used to smoke BHO. His was one of the ones I would only smoke. His and maybe two others.
Well, he takes it serious.
He really does. Serious, He really does. Yeah, he's good people. For Growly, good people for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, all those guys are great. Really, really dig those dudes. So that's why I like doing these podcasts, man. Otherwise, you don't end up knowing these cool people.
They're cool cats for sure. That's for sure. I met them out in, I met Fagroli out in Michigan. He's out there in Michigan. I was right out in Chicago. I used to go up to Michigan and hang out, blow off some steam. It's nice out there. They have a nice system.
Nice.
They got really good caregivers out there, and they have a lot of passionate people. They're really on the forefront of psychedelic medicine and stuff like that. So.
I love Michigan. I love all the people. My brand is in Michigan. I'm working with a group called Rollganic. So shout out to Rollganic, Alex. They grew 17 acres of beautiful cannabis. They got this guy, Jason, who really knows what he's doing. And then our guy, Ryan, who goes by Papa Sift on Instagram. He's our main he's our main hash maker. So he's I've been mentoring him, and we've been actually running an Osprey and a Hashtag side by side. And what our plan is I want to create a report with videos, with photography that explains the pain points of each of these machines, and kind of tells them where they shine and where they don't shine versus one another, and then kind of bring it to each company and be like, would you like to buy this report? It's going to show you huge value in your machine being tested against one of your main competitors. And I've told them both already that I'm going to do this. I have no problem selling it to them both because I want the world to be better. I want equipment to be better. In the meantime, I'm a partner at Whistler Technologies. Of course, I'm always telling people about Whistler Technologies equipment, but that equipment is the highest end equipment. It's very, very, up there. I think our lowest piece of equipment is probably still, $50,000 to $60,000. So some of our equipment is $1.3 million. Some of our equipment is a couple $100,000. It's exceptional quality build out. But it's certainly not for everyone. And so I like the idea of being able to represent, a lot of these different hash making companies, equipment making companies, get their equipment into my labs, do the side-by-side comparisons, create these reports, and hopefully see some companies make their equipment even better down the road for their customers.
That's what I'm hoping for. We won't see it from everybody, but there are some companies out there that I feel like really, truly care about the hash community. And I'd love to start seeing some positive changes in those aspects. I think people are definitely starting to see differences in agitation methods. Right now, everybody's moving to iceless. A lot of people are. But before I forget it, Papa Sift, I met him at the event in Michigan. Super great guy. Got to try some of his hash. That was right in his transition into metric. We're supposed to have him on sometime, and he's good people. So I'm glad to know that you approve as well. For sure. Before we get going, what's your favorite way of consuming your hash? Is it through a dab? And if it is, what's your favorite kind of style banger?
Well, that's a good question. I pulled out my old nostalgic mothership, the old, you remember these buckets?
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, the hash bench.
The old bucket hit. And I loved smoking these back in the day, but I really found it to be kind of a less than exciting hit. Because I've been hitting, listen, I was the guy that had the conversation with JP that inspired the Terp Slurper. There's an interview that JP did where he says, I was having a conversation with Bubble Man, and Bubble Man was talking about like sipping the terps, and it brought me to this design. So literally one of the first Terp Slurpers that were ever made. This is this one. I've had this for literally since I don't know if it's the third or fourth or first or second, but he sent it to me right as he literally started making these units. I think it might say JP on the bottom there.
And you can rip some serious hash.
I got a couple of 10 millis here. These ones are both worked. Oh, there we go.
Hell yeah.
Really quite little nice units there. I got this beautiful blender from D-Nail.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of. Big blender.
I love their new heater.
Their new heaters. I'm the Canadian distributor for it. So this is another one from Puking Beagle. Big column banger. Here's a Legends of Hash Vortex Slurper from JP. So those are awesome too. And then I got the Judge Slurper. I like these sometimes when I want to hit, smaller rips. You don't have to hit like big ass hits. This is great. This is great when you have to hit 40 or 50 rips in a row.
And surprisingly, those little ones, you can really put down some hash through those. Oh, that's nice.
This is a Legends of Hash banger that I got from Task Rock. So it actually says Legends of Hash on it.
Love it.
Which is incredible. And then I got another Legends of Hash Grail banger from JP this year, which is another little 10-y. As you can see, no shortages of grails and slurpers and bangers. This is another one from JP.
Do you have a
the
favorite, or does it
Grail.
depend what kind of hash you're
I
smoking?
love them all, man. Yeah, like it's
Yeah,
really hard to say one over the other. I mean, slurpers are
I can dig it.
amazing, obviously, but sometimes I just want to take a big Grail rip, and other times I love these big column. You know, there's so many of them. Fuck, I just pulled out like 15 of them. I should probably maybe put them back. When you think that these things are 6 and 7 and 800 US dollars a piece,
Yeah,
it's kind of insane that I have like $10,000 of them worth in this drawer.
hey, it's part of the life, especially
Be
the
careful with
lifestyle.
that.
Once you,
Holy shit.
yeah. Well, since you brought it up, I've been saying a lot. Jesus. Since you brought it up, legends. You want to talk about legends some and how the progression has come and where it's come from. I remember how you were talking about legends from the early days, and then the
Yeah,
last couple
dude.
of years I've been seeing it
Special.
and where it's progressed and where it's going to. So you want to talk about that some?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't talk about the progression of Legends without mentioning my partner, Addison Demora. He's obviously a big reason why we have the progression that we have. He hit me up a couple years, 3, 4 years ago, and said, "Look, he came to Legends years ago in Amsterdam. DNA brought him to one of the Legends in the early days, so he knew what it was, and he had, he was like, dude, it was special. It's like Legends was no cameras, no promotion, no self promotion, no business cards, no bullshit. Basically, you were allowed to come and smoke hash, and that was it. We had beautiful dinner, beautiful, big ass hubbly bubbly pipes from Afghanistan. We had Skunkman Sam just dropping his 60 to 70% THC dry sift right onto the bowl, like 1 gram at a time. It was a different time. Fast forward some years, and Addison hits me up and he says, "Listen, like I would love to do a Legends of Hash. I think we could do it in Los Angeles. I think there's a value to it. And what do you think?" And so I was like, "Fuck, I think it's a pretty good idea, man. I like the idea. Let's see if we can pull it off." And we did the first one, we did the second one, the third one was absolutely off the charts. All the booths, Moroccan style, the logos on top of the chai tea lattes, the incredible group of hash makers. We gave away over 7 pounds of hash, like high quality hash. That we had a hash bar that you could just go up to, and they would just give you jars. Here you go. What do you want? 3 or 4? Here's 4 jars with like a quarter gram in each one of them. You couldn't exactly, as a guest, pick exactly what you wanted. But the fact of the matter is, you could go back to that hash bar as often as you liked. The idea was not to collect as many jars as you can to leave the party with them, but to smoke them as much as you could. And of course, people still left with hash, and good for them. Really, the whole purpose of Legends was just to be a celebration of hash, to pay homage to the roots of hashish and the culture. And when I talk about the culture, I'm not talking about the 60s and the 70s. I'm talking about the 14th century Sufi hashish eaters. I'm talking about the gardens of Kafur. I'm talking about Babaku, about things that are historically much further back than most people in the cannabis industry think it goes. The prohibition of cannabis has been going on for a very, very, very long time. And we just wanted to have an event where we could just love hash and celebrate hash and pay homage to these different hash making countries, but at the same time also celebrate the novelty and the newness and the future of hash. And so that's where the full melt bubbles and the static sifts and the live hash rosins come into play. So, and then at the same time, we curate not only the group of people, we curate the sponsors. We do not take money from just anyone. We curate the sponsors. So if you see a company there and you're wondering, I wonder why that company was there, just know that the people who run that company are true cannabis warriors. They stand behind the industry and they want to be a part of something that's bigger than some corporate chat event or whatever, like MJ BizCon. So yeah, I think Legends is special. We're actually planning to do another one this March in Barcelona during Spanibus, in partnerships with my good homie Lorenzo. You may know him as the Terps Army. So Terps Army and Legends of Hashish will be coming to Barcelona, and I haven't done one in Barcelona in quite some time. I was looking the other day, I saw my laminate from Ripper Seeds, and I was like, I wonder what's at the end of that laminate. And lo and behold, it was the last Legends of Hashish laminate that we threw in Barcelona.
I love it. So when was the last time you were out there? Then?
Last year in March.
Okay.
2023.
I
So I don't throw an event. Listen, since I threw that event, Legends, in 2018, there is now the Dabadoo, the Masters of Rosin, the Squash Off, the Ego Clash. I'm probably forgetting 2 or 3 of them. So these are all events that have come into fruition after Legends of Hash. Like, we've been around for 20 some odd years. And don't get me wrong, I love those events and think they're wonderful, and I'm certainly not saying anything negative about them. But Legends is the grandfather of a lot of these events. And so, as you know, when we don't throw Legends, it gives a lot of chance to other groups to build up these awesome events, which I love. I've had a lot of fun at Masters of Rosins in particular. I think it's a spectacular event. I was a judge at it last year, and I think David from HQ is just awesome people, and so is the whole event. But this year it was time to bring Legends back. I'm not involved in any other judging or any other events during Spannabis. I'm just going to focus my attention on Legends. You know, the thing that people love about Legends, I think, in Spain in particular, is that it'll be very limited. There are only a limited amount of tickets, and you know, if you don't get one, there's nothing we can do about it. We don't have like 100 free tickets for friends. In fact, one of the things I always tried to make sure of when it came to Legends was that nobody got a free ticket, that everyone made sure they paid for their ticket, that it was never about you know, the giving of tickets. It was more about you know, make sure that you supported, you got your ticket, and you want to get more high than you've ever been in your life, because that is exactly what Legends of Hash is. It is getting more high than you've ever been in your life. And it's the only time I wake up the next day completely stoned out of my gourd. Very rare for that to happen to me. If I ate like a bunch of edibles, maybe I'll wake up the next day stoned. But every Legends I've ever gone to, I've woken up completely like I felt like I just took 10 dabs.
I love it. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
that's
man.
a good thing. Well, while you're heating that up and getting that ready, we can go ahead and do this giveaway again. We over here, we got 91 entries, so good luck, everybody. This is for the other half of the remaining of the seed packs from Brown Bag Seeds, Brown Bag Farm Goods. Really good guys. So good luck, everybody. Let's go ahead and pick a winner chicken dinner, unless you're vegetarian or vegan. Otherwise,
winner chicken dinner.
Brian N. Congratulations. You can hit me up at, I'll put it in the chat, Steve at futurecannabisproject.org, and I will get them out to you.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, well, what are you excited about growing before we get up out of here? We've been here for a little while. I know you have your evening to get going on, but I know you said you had some of those cuts coming, but what are you like looking for that you don't have, that you really want to get into?
Listen, I love anything fruity these days. I really love the guavas and the strawberries and the bananas and the, you know, all of these, anything like that. I'd love to see some of these DNA cuts that they just did with honey bananas. They crossed like clementine, and they crossed strawberry banana. They crossed all these things with honey bananas. So I'd love to check that out. Otherwise, I feel pretty blessed in the sense that there's not much I don't have access to, you know. I always loved growing the Congo. That was kind of a special one that I quite enjoyed. Anything hazy, sweet skunk, Congo, seedsman haze, you know, anything that has that sort of hazy after smell in the air, that terpenoline rich sort of sativa goodness, I have a fondness of. But really, I'm just looking forward to surprising myself by growing extremely well whatever it is I grow, and just loving that profile and being like, this is my favorite Death Bubba or my favorite honey bananas, and I think I should be able to do it. I don't know what food I'm going to grow with. I've always loved living soils. I've always loved organic as much as I can. At the same time, these tents are for experimental purposes, and I want to learn things. So we'll see what I end up doing. I might grow one organically and one salt based. I might do it both organic. I might do both. I have no idea what I'm going to do yet, but
Check out
I'm
some
doing it
sip
sort of in
pots.
conjunction with some what?
Sip pots, bottom watering, like the earth boxes, stuff like that. They're
Oh
great
yeah,
city
yeah,
pickers.
yeah, yeah.
Fantastic, super easy. Um, Great for your living soil needs if you wanted to. You know what I mean? That's how I do it. I love it that way. But yeah, if you want to do side by sides, those are fantastic. Fit in the tent nice and easy, and they're really low maintenance for living soil and that style of growing. So yeah, definitely check that out.
Totally.
I'd say.
Absolutely, I will.
Well, I guess what I really want to know. I know Skunkman Sam was a big influence. Who else was kind of early on like influences, and then who are you today? Are you like really looking up to in the community?
Well, I mean, back in the day, it was my old mentor, Ron Hickey. I met him when I was like 17 years old, and he showed me how to grow weed. And he's just been a great friend through and through for the last 30 years. Really amazing man. Served 11 years in a federal penitentiary for growing cannabis. Has some pretty crazy stories. Is definitely a no joke kind of guy. He's been in my videos. You can see him. I've made bubble hash with him and the Kootenays on his deck and his dog Buddy, and we did some dry sifting videos together. He's a real wild maniac character for sure. Um, who do I look up to in the industry? I mean, I love what a lot of people are doing these days. Um, I'm stoked on what Thomas is doing from Grandmaster level. I love Che from Rosebud Farms, Kevin from Kootenay's Finest. You got Kevin from Royal Harvest. You got Ramo, the urban grower, Johnny B. Like, these are all just my peers and my friends. I think they're all doing pretty cool things. Yeah, I mean, I look down in California, I look down all around the world. There's all sorts of amazing people that are doing amazing things. So I just try to maintain relevance and just keep heading down this path of cannabis extraction that I've seemed to be not trapped on, but certainly I'm a lifer. I don't think I'm going anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely love it. Well, I definitely appreciate everything you've done. For the community at large. I know you probably were never like, okay, this is what I want to do, but you started doing it, and it's been a hell of a legacy that you've been leaving behind. The Legends of Hash, I love where it's going. I think that's great. I think a lot of the community is definitely looking for events like that. And it is a smaller niche of a community, and it's nice for people to be able to get together and enjoy these things that you don't get here by mistake, right? Like, it takes hard work to become somebody who falls in love with hash and has to be picky and turn people down and tell people no, and people think you're an asshole and like all this other shit, right? Just because like we care about it, we love it, we won't just smoke anything. I'm not just trying to get stoned. Like, there's just so many more complexities to it that few get. So it's nice to get around people that get it. And I really appreciate you taking out the time and coming on and talking to a few of us that do around here.
Oh yeah, dude. Well, I'm really glad and honored that you invited me on. I'm always happy to meet new folks and talk to new audiences. And yeah, just hit me up anytime you want to talk again. I like what you guys are doing at Future Cannabis Project. I think it's cool, and it's nice to just see more and more communities sort of, building up and joining forces to expand this little community that we have. That's not going to be so little in the next 20 years. It's growing rapidly.
Yeah. So it's good to have solid places for solid people, and big ups, big thanks. And big thanks to the show sponsors that help make this happen. We definitely have the Press Club coming in there and helping out. Brown Bag Seeds, Brown Bag Farm Goods. These great people. And we couldn't do it without them. Everybody, where can everybody find you at? How about that? Let the people know.
I'm all over the place. Instagram, BC Bubbleman, Twitter, also BC Bubbleman, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BC Bubbleman. It's also called Bubbleman's World. And then I've got a ton of Facebook groups that if you want to check out, if you are on Facebook, they're incredible educational groups. We probably have around 300,000 or 400,000 people in these groups. There's water extraction drying techniques. There's water extraction hash making. There's all things terpenes. There's team dry sift. There's lyophilization and freeze dryer specialized groups. Geez, I'm probably forgetting a ton of them. Oh, Rosin Tech is my group. So if you kind of hit me up on Facebook, I can give you the list of all my groups, and there's probably a dozen, maybe 12 to 15 of them. We've got a living soils group. We've got just an enormous amount of incredible knowledge that's very specialized and focused on, you know, very, very certain things. These aren't groups to come in and just post pictures and get likes. It's really an educational group. If you post a picture without information, it gets deleted. So we do have a lot of sort of drama with the groups of people, but some of these groups have 50, 60, 70,000 people in them, and they're just incredible communities. And you want to learn something about your freeze dryer, and you go into this group with 10,000 people who are using freeze dryers, and it is incredible how fast you can get an answer, you can get a firmware update, it's just super helpful. So I've been thinking about allowing sponsors into these groups here, maybe in 2024. I never have before, but I think specific curated sponsors for each group may be in order, as there's a lot of eyes in these groups.
I think it'd be a good idea for you. It definitely helps, you know, grease the wheels on some things to make life easier. So I'm for it. And you've always had a good judge of character, so for sure. Well, hell yeah, everybody go check out all his pages. I'm going to have to do some Facebook research, I guess, here in a little bit. Next couple of days. I'm not much of a Facebooker, but if I have a good intention to get on there, I definitely will. And that's some good information. And that's the thing. Everybody wants to know, where can I learn to make hash? How do I make good hash? Well, all the information is literally at your fingertips today. So it just takes a little bit of time and a lot of patience and dedication. So just get there and make it happen. Pop some seeds, grow some clones. Let's overgrow. Let's stop our dependency on big pharma and have a much healthier year this year. I'm all for it.
Hell yeah.
So,
Well said.
hell yeah. Cheers, everybody. Y'all have a good night. Much love. And here's the show sponsors one more time. Peace out.
Peace.
All right.